Hi, today we're going to be talking about Opposing Viewpoints Resource Center, which is one of the databases that you can use through Western Texas College. To get to the database, you first need to go to the library page. From the WTC homepage, just scroll down to the bottom of the screen where you're going to see several buttons, and one of them is Library. To get to this database, there are several different methods. You can click on this reddish icon here or click on the link below it, or we can go to Search Databases, go down to this menu which has a lot of different subject areas, click on Critical Thinking, and then click on Opposing Viewpoints Resource Center with Critical Thinking module. If you're signing in from off campus, you're going to need to put in your usual WTC username and password with this green screen. And if you're on campus, it should take you straight to this blue and white screen here. But either way, you're going to wind up on this page. There are a couple ways to search for topics with this database. You can type a search term into the basic search box and search that way, or you can browse through these different links here, which are a lot of popular topics which have been controversial in recent years. So let's say we're interested in researching athletes. When you click on that topic or any other topic, you're going to come to a page that looks something like this. You're going to see several multicolored tabs up here at the top that correspond to different types of information about your topic. One of the ways to start researching is to click on the Reference tab. And under this tab, you're going to see some things called Topic Overview. These give you some background on your topic. For instance, if you're not sure what a topic's really about or if it's really what you want to write about, you can look at the Reference tab and get an overview of what the topic is and why it's controversial. For instance, I didn't know why athletes or athletics was a controversial topic in the first place, so I looked on the Reference tab and found this article which gives an overview about sports and health. It says that there are benefits to physical activity and also health risks of sports participation. So that gives me some kind of idea why some people argue that athletics are a good idea and some people argue that athletics are not such a good idea because playing sports can be good for your health and give you more physical activity, but they can also have some health risks like getting injured. Once you've read through some of the background information and decided you do want to write about this topic, you can look at some of these other tabs. Viewpoints is a very useful source of information. Here we're going to see viewpoint essays, and these are essays about the pros and cons of being a professional athlete or athletics in general. For instance, this one is arguing that professional athletes should not be viewed as role models. If you look through some more of these, you're going to see other ones saying things like baseball heroes offer lessons in determination and persistence, which is saying that professional athletes can be people that are good to look up to. So you can look through these and see that there are different viewpoints about sports and athletics. And they're not just saying sports are altogether good or sports are altogether bad. They're focusing in on certain aspects about the topic. For instance, whether or not pro athletes should be viewed as role models, whether genetic enhancement is good for sports and the athletes themselves, and so forth and so on. So you might need to narrow down your topic a little bit. You might start writing and want to talk about how pro athletes are good and pro sports are good, but that might be too broad a topic. You need some kind of reason to argue why pro sports are overall a good thing or pro sports are overall a bad thing. So you might want to narrow it down talking about genetic enhancement like steroids and so forth, or you might want to talk about whether or not pro athletes should be viewed as role models. For some other ideas on narrowing down your topic, you can look at this list of subject terms over here, and that can give you some ideas as well. Because there are subjects within the bigger topic of athletics. You have articles about blind athletes, deaf athletes, elderly athletes, child athletes, college athletes. So if you click on one of these, you're going to get fewer articles, and there are some more subtopics like should college athletes be paid? And so that can help you narrow it down. You can look at related terms, academic eligibility in college sports, which are related to college athletes. Broader terms, athletes is the big subject, and all these other subjects are underneath it as kind of subtopics. So this can help you narrow down what you want to write about. If we go back to basic search, we don't necessarily have to click on one of these topics to look for information. You might want to write about something and it's not necessarily in this list of topics. For instance, if you want to write about the ethics of torture, you can hit search and see different articles that mention that. We searched by subject, but if we search by keyword, we might get more results. For instance, when we searched by subject, we got 78 results. We searched by keyword, we get 106. And if we search by entire document, this is going to get any document in the entire database that mentions torture at all. So we might get a whole lot. We got 459. So this is a way to find more or less information. If you're getting too much information, you can narrow it down and just search by subject. But if you're not finding what you need, you can go to keyword or entire document. And so it's good to try all of these if you're trying to find some information for your paper, and that will help you get the stuff that you're looking for. You can also narrow it down to just academic journals, news magazines. This can be good as well. If we go back to our topic about athletes, we can look at magazines, and this can give you some information that's been in the news currently. These are brief articles that talk about athletes that have been in the news with some controversy lately, and that can give you examples to use in your paper. News is also going to be some fairly recent information about things going on in the world of athletics. If we look at statistics, we can get some results there. There's not a whole bunch on this topic, but some of them have a lot of statistics. There's also multimedia, and these are transcripts of radio broadcasts, so it's stuff that's been written down, what people talked about on a radio show. And there's also websites, and these are different websites that have to do with athletes and athletics. And there are these tabs for all of your different topics, so these can help you get different information that you need to back up your point. Like if you're saying that professional sports are important and pro athletes should be role models, you can find some examples in these different subject areas to back up what you're saying. If this is all too much information and you really just need a good overview of different topics, click on critical thinking here. And you can click on these subject areas such as crime or government and see topics beneath them that fit into that category. Or you can click on all topics, and say if we clicked on internet, this can be helpful. Critical Thinking Center gives you some different questions to keep in mind when you're researching a topic. For instance, what are some of the dangers of the internet? What are some ways to limit online pornography without infringing on personal rights? In what ways is the debate about online rights similar to other debates about technology? So these are some questions you can keep in mind, and there'll be a topic overview and then some viewpoint essays about the different sides of the topic. And there's not as many here. These just usually have about 3 to 6 articles. So this is a good way to look and get a basic overview of your topic and what you want to talk about in your paper or your speech or your project. Another good tool that this database has is the toolbox. And if you're looking up information and getting ready to write your paper, this can help you out. It has information for getting started, how to write a topic sentence, how to choose a topic, and tools for completing your paper. For instance, if you click on choose a topic, it can help you narrow it down, find a specific topic for your report, so forth and so on. It gives you some information about how to cite a source. So these are all good to read through when you're working on your paper, and it will help you be more successful in getting started with your paper and actually writing it, and it can help you make a better grade on it in the end when you understand these critical thinking concepts. Let's just go back to our basic search, and if we click on athletes again, let's go to this first article, and I'll just show you a couple other things you can do with this. If you would rather read it in a different language than English, you can translate it to these various languages here. So if I wanted to read it in Spanish, I could translate it, and it might take a moment, but then it's translated to Spanish, and the keyword of athletes is still highlighted in red for you there. You can print this out or download it. Also, you can cite it by clicking on source citation, and you might have to change this a little bit according to what your professor or your instructor wants you to do, but this gives you all the information about this article, the author, and the name of the article, the book it's from, the editor, where it was published, and so forth and so on. So this is good to save and or copy and paste so that you can use this later if you decide to use some of this information for your paper. Another thing you can do with this database is listen to the articles instead of read them. If you click on the listen link, a computerized voice will read the article to you. Just click on listen and then hit play. So you can listen to it instead of read it if you prefer to do that. And there's one other cool feature that I wanted to show you. If you go to academic journal articles, then you're going to see that these articles are written at a little bit higher level. They're written by experts, so they may have words that you don't know off the top of your head. For instance, this one is called Not So Mighty Mice, Use of Transgenic Mice to Discover the Causes of Familial Hypertrophic Cardiomyopathy in Young Adults. And so this is written for experts in the field who are studying these types of things. And if you want to use this article but you're not sure what some of the words mean, there's a dictionary tool right here so that you can look up a word that you might not know and get the definition right there instead of having to look in another dictionary. So that is Opposing Viewpoints Resource Center. It's available for you to use anytime. You can use it on campus, off campus, and You can use it on campus or off campus. And if you have any questions about it, please feel free to visit the library website and go to the Get Help menu where you can get help from us in a variety of ways. So if you have any questions about using the database or any difficulties with it, please let us know and good luck using it.